How the Secret Changed My Life by Rhonda Byrne. Thank you for listening. Introduction. Since The Secret was released to the world, tens of thousands of people have written to us to share the story of how they used the secret principles to attract what they wanted: health, wealth, the perfect partner, the perfect career, a restored marriage or relationship, to bring back something that was lost, even to replace the depression with happiness. By following the methods in the secret, these people from every culture and country across the planet have transformed their life from what it was to something extraordinary. They did what the average person would have said is impossible. But these people know that nothing is impossible. Featured in this book are some of the most miraculous, uplifting, and inspiring real life secret stories, chosen from those we have received in the last 10 years. And together they will take you on an unforgettable journey that will break the limits of your mind. These stories clearly demonstrate that no matter who you are, no matter where you are, and you can use the secret to create whatever it is you want. Along with the secret stories, my words will guide you through the pages of this book with the secret's wisdom. If you are new to the secret, this will give you a comprehensive understanding of how to use its principles. If you are already familiar with the secret, it will act as a reminder of the simple things you can do to have a good life filled with everything you want. Over the years, I have been able to manifest all the desires on my seemingly never ending list. But without a doubt, hearing from people about the miscellaneous ways they have changed their own lives has been the greatest gift the secret has given me personally. Material objects and material things are great fun. You should have whatever it is that you want. But being able to do something to help another human being have a better life brings with it a happiness that can never leave you. And ultimately, happiness is all that we ever want. I want you to know how easily you can change your life. And it's not by running around trying to force it into the shape you want. You change your life in the only way you can ever change it. Change your mind and then change your life. Roundabout. There are two kinds of people: those who say, I believe it when I see it, and those who say, to see it, I know I must believe it. The Secret Daily Teachings. How I asked, believed, and received. The creative process. The great secret of life is the law of attraction, which says that like attracts like. What this means for you is that you are attracting into your life the experience and circumstances that are like the thoughts and images you are holding in your mind. Whatever you constantly think about, you will attract into your life. If you think about what you want and continue to think about it, you will bring it into your life. Thought this most powerful law. Your thoughts become the things in your life. You currently thoughts are creating your future life. And so by changing your thoughts now, you can change your life. Once you understand the secret, you can then use the creative process to attract whatever you want and live the life of your dreams. The creative process is made up to three simple steps: ask, believe, receive. First, ask. The law of attraction responds to any consistent thought you hold in your mind. Even if you ask for something extremely specific, you needn't have any doubt that you will receive exactly what you ask for. Singing with Steve Wonder. Hi all, my name is John Pereira, and this is how the secret works for me. First of all, at the time I wasn't doing too well. I was depressed and angry, mainly with a business partner my sister and I had. My sister had been pretending to watch The Secret, and one day she made us all stop what we are doing and watch the movie. For that day on, I decided to give it a go and just practice it. 2 days later, I was at the gym reading the paper and noticed a concert date for Steve Wonder on the 22nd of October, which is also my birthday. I said to my sister, this is it. I'm not going to do just meet him. I am going to sing with him. I told everyone that I had met George Benson. Had participated with Jamiroquai, and now I'm going to sing with the head Hoko himself, Steve. Everyone thought I was crazy. The next day, when I was visiting my brother, I got up to make him coffee and asked him to pause the program were watching on television. When I came back into the room, the secret was paused on when the chance to sing with on stage with Steve Wonder. I couldn't believe it. I went straight home to enter. You had to write in 20 words why you wanted to sing with Steve, and the words just flew out of my brain. After I submitted it, I asked my girlfriend if I should submit again. Just at that moment, the computer crashed and never worked again. Don't worry, I said her, this is mine. Don't need to enter it again. A week or so had passed, and I was out having drinks with some friends. Looked over at one of my mates and said, do you know I'm going to sing with Steve Wonder again? That person looking at me as if I am crazy. The very next day, I went home after work and said to my sister what I'm going to do when I sing with him. She said, just remember to take your time because it would be over before you know it. So savor the moment. I was about to have an afternoon nap when my phone started ringing. I answered it, and the guy says, is this John Pereira? And did you enter the competition? I replied, yes. He said, well, congratulations, you are the national winner. I screamed and started throwing my girlfriend in the air. I called my parents and screamed. I called my sister and started screaming. I called my brother and started screaming. And the friend I told in the night before just replied, yeah, yeah, when I told him he could not believe it. So, if anyone doesn't believe I am living a proof. John Pereira, Sydney, Australia. Here is another amazing example of someone attracting a very specific desire and using the secret. It's a miracle. I found out about the secret from the Orf Winfrey show. I tried believed every single word written in the book and spoke on the video. Then I received an email from the secret giving me a link to download a check from the Bank of the Universe. So I downloaded the check and wrote an amount of 100,000 digit Malaysian currency equaling about 25,000 US dollars on it just for fun, and I pinned it to my small vision board near my dressing table. Then I took a one rigid bill and add zero with a maker. I wanted to write 100,000, but just the space was so small that I managed to add just five zeros. It was ended up looking 1000.00. But I didn't want to throw it away, so I just put it up there on my vision with the check. I looked at it every day and told myself that I believe it would happen. I didn't really know whether my visualization exercise was correct, but I just did it every once in a while. And to be frank, as time went by, I kind of forget about it. Then in the early October, when I was paying my credit card bill at the service counter, I saw a pamphlet about a contest called RM 100,000 Dream Catcher SMS contest that the credit card company was running. It started on July 5 and ended on 15th October. But this was the first I had heard about it. Then thought, well, I still have 2 weeks to send my entry. Better late than never. So I did. Then at the end of the month, I received a call from the credit card company telling me that I had won second prize for the month of October. For that, I would get a cash prize of Rm 1000. I thrilled because I never really had much luck in big contests. I thought my husband and we are jumping with joy. 2 months later, I received another call from the company saying that I was selected as one of the 11 finalists to compete for the grand prize of Rm 100,000, and that the winner would be decided the following week. That night, at my dressing table, when I noticed my vision board, there was the RM 100,000 check I had written 3 months before. My heart was beating fast as I noticed the one rigid bill that looked like RM 1000 rather than RM 100,000. Took the note the, and the check into the living room to show my husband. I said, sweetheart, I think I know why I won the second prize for RM 1000. It's the RM1 bill, even though I ordered it by accident. God still delivered it to me. The secret in action. Then I was crying tears of happiness. The little voice inside of me kept saying, I am the winner of the grand prize. The God, the universe has arranged the event, people, and circumstances to deliver my RM 100,000 check to me. Then I read the chapter on the secret to money and watch the video again. Every time I had a doubt that the prize was mine, I quickly replaced it with the image of me on the stage smiling and holding the big mock check of RM 1000. Before we left on the morning of the grand finale, my husband said to me, "Take the RM 100,000 check that you wrote. You're going to claim the real money today." So I did. Before entering the room, I took a look last at the check, visualizing winning and trying to cash off doubt. And I noticed the remedy advice on the top of the check. Feel good. I quickly grabbed my husband's iPhone and opened the photo album of my beautiful 2-year-old daughter. Happy, eh, seeing her sweet smile made me feel so happy inside that I knew I was the right track. Throughout the whole event, I just thought about my daughter, smile, and visualize winning. And yes, I did. I won the grand prize of RM 100,000. When they announced my name, I felt as if I were having a deja vu experience because I did the same picture scrolling in my mind so many times before. After delivering the mock check, the judge said to me, "When you walked into the room with the other 10 finalists, you looked the happiest of all. Maybe that's why, because you know that you were going to win." So it really is a miracle. I wrote a bill over Varam 1000.00 by ancient and a check of for Varam 100,000 on 18th August, and on December 12th the both came true. When I told my friends and family what happened, those with doubts became believers. Annie, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. It may feel as if what you want is almost impossible to receive, but for the law of trust action, nothing is impossible and everything is possible, even if you're asking for a miracle. As was the case with the story of Popeye, the running pug. Popeye, my 20-year-old daughter and her dog. Popeye, a 4-year-old male pug, has been living with us for 4 months, and I was Popeye's caretaker during that time. When my daughter moved out, she took me beloved Popeye with her, and we didn't hear from her for about 2 months. When I asked about Popeye, she told to me that he had escaped from the yard at the house when she was staying and she could not find him. I made up a flyer, took it to the copy shop, and had 100 copies made. I put up posters all around the area where Popeye is missing. When I asked how long he did been gone, my daughter said a month. I was shocked that she had not told us sooner. Statistics will tell you that if you don't find an animal within the first 3 weeks, you mostly likely will not find him at all. I received several phone calls about a pug in the area, and I always ran to wherever the call said they had seen him. Then one day a caller said they had a male pug. So I rushed to the address only to find that it was not my baby. As time went by, I put up more and more flyers but got fewer and fewer phone calls. I put an ad in the paper and searched the neighborhood, spoke with the people and handed out more flyers. Until then, I did not know about the secret. It came into my life when I took my son to Mississippi State University for a college visit and went to bookstore on campus. The first time we went in, purchased several items, but not the secret. I didn't even see the book, but later that day my son wanted something else. So we went back to the store and we were getting in line to check out. I saw the secret. I have no idea what it was, but the cover struck me, so I purchased it. After the weekend was over, I took the book home and began reading it. Then I realized why Popeye was not home yet. When he left, I put his bed in the garage. It had been in my closet, but it hurt me to look at it. Put the bed back into the closet, and I went to the vet and got his food. I still put it up posters, but I said thanks daily for Popeye being home. I so believed he was home that I would cry because I was so thankful. For a couple of weeks, there were no calls of any kind, yet I never lose faith. Then one day I got a call from someone saying they had seen a pug in the area. At that time they saw him. Poor boy has been only a couple of weeks, but they just wanted me to know there was still hope. I thought that was wonderful of them. Then a few hours later, I received another call from the man told me that the Popeye was in Texas with his niece. He said that she had been visiting at the time Popeye went missing and had found him by the school, which was very close to where he escaped. She had talked around the neighborhood asking if anyone knew him, but no one found him. So, when it came the time for her to go home, she took him with her. Her uncle had been traveling for several months. So, when he came home and saw my flyer around town, he called his niece and told her that Popeye family was hunting for him. He gave me her number and I called and asked if the dog had did Popeye's trick. And sure enough, he did. Now you may be wondering how I get the Popeye back when he was in Texas and I was in Mississippi. Well, the rest of the story is that she lived 15 minutes from my father, who picked up Popeye and is bringing him home to me when he must come for my son's graduation. Matra, Mississippi, USA. Matra knew she Matra knew she had to get herself to the place of believing Popeye was home, which is no easy feat when a dearly loved pet is lost. She chose to take specific actions that were very powerful, such as bringing his bed back into her closet and buying his food, because those actions said that Popeye has returned home. Mantra believed come so strong that it even caused her to weep with gratitude. Popeye had returned. That kind of belief is the second vital step in the creative process. The second step, believe. Ask, believe, receive. Just three simple steps to create what you want. However, very often the second step, belief, can be the most difficult. Yet it is the greatest step you will ever take. Believing contains no doubt. Believing does not waver. Believing is absolute faith. Believing remains steadiest despite what is happening in the outside world. When you master believing, you have mastered your life. The secret daily teachings. I believe. About 6 months ago, my boyfriend and I spontaneously decided to move to another city where he had lived before. He went ahead and moved in with his friend so that it would be easier for him to look for a job. It was hard for me, of course, because I missed him so, but I had already given notice at my job and planned to follow him a month later. As time went by, however, nothing seemed to be working out. My boyfriend did not get a job he wanted, so I he had been out of the work for nearly a month. I had not found a new job either, and on the top of that, I couldn't find anyone to take over my apartment. If I didn't find someone who could move in the day I was moving out, I would have to pay another 3 months rent, which we cannot afford. Then I went miles apart. I was lonely and almost desperate. Time and money seemed to be running out on us. One weekend, when I was visiting him, we found an apartment, but then we learned that the family who still lived there wouldn't be able to move out until a few days after we were scheduled to move in. Already scheduled the mover and couldn't change the date. It all seemed to be a mess. And I was really desperate and in tears one night about a week before the final move. I read The Secret. I chose two stones to be my gratitude stones. And while holding the stones in one hand, with the other one I wrote down everything I was thankful for in my life and everything I wanted, especially for moving into my new life. I wished for a job and for a vacation too. I wanted to find a job immediately, but I also wanted to have time to get to know the city and settle into our new apartment. I wished for a job for my boyfriend, and I wished that we could move into our apartment on the weekend we had planned and not one day later. Printed out two pictures of the house we were supposed to be moving into and wrote big date numbers and the date I wanted to move in. I carried one picture with me and put other beside my bed. Also, I wished for a nice girl to move into my apartment on the day I would be leaving. I started carrying the stones in my jeans pocket so that every time I touched them, I thought about the list of the things I had written that night. And guess what happened? Called me about 5 days before I was going to leave, saying that she wanted to move into my apartment and she even bought my washing machine. which I couldn't take with me and wanted to sell. My boyfriend and I moved in our apartment on the weekend and we planned and we had 2 weeks to feel at home in our beautiful new city before we both signed contract for the new job on the same day. I'm so grateful for getting to know the secret myself better. It does work. All you need to do is believe, especially if in yourself. It continues to help me every day. Thank you, Rhonda, for sharing the secret with us. I am keep on and I will be keep on sharing too. Nia, Germany. You must know that what you want in yours the moment you ask. You must have complete the utter faith. You must act, speak, and think as though you have it now. That is what it means to believe. Nia is used the picture of her new house with the move-in date written on them to reinforce her belief that she already had it. Whatever you get yourself to this place of believing, the universe must move all people, circumstances, and events for you to receive. How it will happen, how the universe will bring it to you, is not your concern or job. Allow the universe to do it for you. When you try to work out how it will happen, you are eliminating a frequency that contains a lack of it. That you don't believe you have it already. You think you have to do it, and you do not believe the universe will do it for you. Green Card Miracle. In January 2011, I bought The Secret at a tiny bookstore at the apartment while I was waiting to board my flight back to the USA from my hometown in Kerala, India. Reading it on the plane back to LA changed my life forever. I had struggled with negativity my entire life, but the teachings of the secret helped me to change my outlook and take control of my future. But I still feel off the wagon many times. I often overlooked the blessings of my new job, beautiful new home, and a great new relationship, and focus on the things I did not have, in particular, a permanent green card that would allow me to continue living in the States. I had a temporary green card based on my store-lived marriage, but to give a permanent one, I would have to prove that the marriage was real and still valid. The marriage had been real enough that I had the emotional scale to prove it, but my husband and I separated barely a year after our wedding and were on our way to finalizing the divorce. I had to hire an immigration lawyer, which was expensive, and all I did was grip about how much all this was costing and the fact that I was going to be deported. As a result, the law of attraction ensured that my problems continued. Things were going from bad to worse when I decided to visit the secret site and read some of the testimonials to change the funk I was in. I was inspired by the many people who had written about their personal miracles and decided to get back on the wagon right away. I printed two color of copies of my current green card and changed the expiration date from 2011 to 2021. I pinned a copy to my cork board at work where I could see it and put it on the other in my wallet. And then I did something that ensured success of my wish. I forgot all about it. I did not spend another minute thinking about the process, what the lawyers were up to, whether I had given enough supporting document, not a single negative thought. I also did not try to help the process along as I normally would have done. I did not imagine my interview with the immigration officer going well. It did not spend any of though on my lawyer providing brilliant argument in my favor. Quite simply let it go. Whenever someone asked me how it was going, I shrugged and said my application was being processed. I refused to follow up with my lawyer's office afraid over the date by which I should have heard back about appointment with the immigration officer. With my understanding of how the visa process works, logically I would have at best envisioned a brief interview, a successful meeting with an immigration officer who was inclined to like me and so on. But the law of attraction gave me more than I could ever even have imagined. On the first day of my June, 2 months before my current card expired, I received my new green card in the email. No interview, no immigration officer, no meeting, no follow up. Just the card with the expiration date is 2022 printed on it. 1 year more that I had written on my inspiration copy. What I learned from this experience is that often the answer is not to strive constantly to think positive thoughts, something we want. It's ability to ask, believe, and then let go. Trusting the universe has received my wish, being confident, and I am articulated it clearly, and believing that my wish will be granted are the three steps I have mastered. I am still working on resisting the urge to keep trying to fine tune my request or help it along by adding more positive vibes. Ambika, Los Angeles, California. As Ambika came to realize, when you are feeling good, it's much easier to believe you will receive what you desire than if you are not feeling good. This because believing is a positive emotion and it's on the same frequency as feeling good. So don't try to practice believing if you are feeling down in the dumps. Get yourself feeling good, then do the visualizing and practice that will help you to believe. If you are complaining about things in your life, you are not on the complaining frequency. You are not in the position to attract what you want. Go on the frequency of good with your thoughts and words. Firstly, you will feel good, and secondly, you will be on the frequency of receiving more good.